That look in your eyes, I recognize it. Survivors, just like Einhar. That is my name, exiles. Einhar, Einhar Frey, which means lone fighter. For a long time I've searched for a worthy companion, a hunter as fierce and strong and handsome as Einhar. I walked the plains of Vastery and found no one worthy. I delved into the Azurite mines. Even though my best friend Nico begged me not to, I found many crunchy bugs, but still no hunter. Then I decided there was only one place left to search. The land of New Zealand! Oh, this is not the menagerie. Einhar must have taken a wrong turn on the Path of Exile. I make a joke. You like it? I know where I am. Do you? Do you? Do you? I know because Einhar knows. Welcome to EXILECON 2019! Or, as the local survivors like to say, Kia ora! Yes, from the land of the orc, yes. Now, what was I going to say? I have come oh, yes, we have people here from all over the planet, yes? Yes? Very brave to come here all this way. But don't worry, here we have at EXILECON shelter, food, and weapons. I hope you bring your weapons, huh? Huh? I brought mine. Come, Shadow, come. This is my shadow. He goes everywhere with me. Now, do we have any beasts in the building? Oh, there's one. I said, do we have any beasts in the building? Oh, yes, I hear you well now. Einhar can hear. Well, my beast friends, you know what I like to do with a beast? I like to hunt them and kill them with my bare claws. Well, they're not really bare claws, but, you know. If I can't kill them with my bare claws, you know, I like to use my crossbow. I prefer to call it my happy bow. You see, come, Shadow, come. This is how it works. When I'm hunting, first of all, if I'm going for a big beast, like this one here, he looks like a big beast. Stand up, beast. Not you, the big one next to you. You are too skinny. You will make a good carcass, yeah? Very useful. Don't worry, we use all the pieces of the animal, like grinding gears using all the pieces for the game. Big beast, stand up. What is your name? What? Noshi. Okay, welcome, Noshi. Put your hands up so I can aim straight. No, put your hands up. Did I say put them down? I tell you when to put your hands down. So, when I'm hunting a big beast like Noshi, I have to tread very carefully. I'm stalking now. I'm not talking, I'm stalking. And then I'm taking aim, generally in Oshi's direction. And boom! He's captured. You can sit down now. When I'm going for a slightly smaller beast, I have to... Yes, you can stand up now, smaller beast. Yes, what is your name? Very exotic name. So when I'm aiming for a smaller beast, like, what? Jason? Okay. When I'm going to take a shot, Jason here, I have to aim more carefully, like this. I'm lining up my shot, and boom! He's been captured. Good, yeah. Einhar is very good. Shadow, where are you? You can take it away. Because when I'm hunting little tiny insects, I can't use my crossbow, can I? So I have to stamp on them. It's funny, no? Yeah, it's funny. So if I'm stamping on them, I have to stamp a few times because one little insect is not very nutritious, is it? So I have lots of insects. I pick them up, I eat them. Very nutritious. Very good. So today, I have come from very far away to be here at EXILECON. Yes. Do you know how many beasts I had to sacrifice to get here today, just to get the portal open? I lost count at 50 beasts, and I will have to sacrifice 50 more just to get back to my menagerie. But don't worry, because here today, we are here all weekend. All of us here to celebrate. All of us here to celebrate. You are going to get a chance to meet the originals. The first ones from Grinding Gear Games. Don't worry, they are not going to bite you like the first ones Einhar is used to. Don't worry. They are very friendly beasts. You are going to get to talk to them, and they are going to talk to you. It's going to be great. Today, at this convention, is here for Einhar to meet all his friends and talk about all his achievements. But this is not EXILECON. This is EXILECON! Now, if this was EXILECON, things would be very different. The main event would be sacrifice by combat. Yes, I'm coming to you two. Yes, two lucky survivors here. Are you married?
Engaged.
Oh, then this should be very easy for you. Because when you are married, you will find a lot of fighting going on. And you know, very, very easy. So don't worry, things are only going to get worse. Now, sacrifice by combat. I like that. If this was, listen, I have to say, out there on one of the stages, we have streamers. Do you know what streamers is? Yeah? If this was EXILECON, we would just have lots of blood and goo and snot and everything just pouring off the stage all over you, married people. You like that, huh? We can see who has the biggest bloodstream. It will be good. Oh, I like your hair. It's very nice, beast. The only problem is he can't see behind you now. You can see. I like it. You have to tell me what you're doing with your hair. So, we are going to have streamers. This is not really what it is. Streamers is where you have another stage out there, and you will be able to talk and speak, talk and meet, more talk, more meat, more talk, meat. I am hungry. I didn't have my breakfast this morning. Meat. No. This is what it is, streamers. Now, the other thing you will be able to do today in EXILECON, you will be able to buy many, many things. Many, many things, you lucky people, that is exclusive here to EXILECON. Let me show. Oh, no, save it. This one is very rare. This is an albino rower. Very rare. Here is a little beastie here. It's a baby rower. Very cute, yes? No, it grows into a huge monster and will eat you up. This one is for you somewhere out there. He's captured. Here, we have another beast. This is a sand spitter, I think they call it. Yeah, sand spitter. I think I used to date one. No. I think I used to eat one. Yeah, that's it. Einhar make funny. This one's for you. Oh, yeah. And this one here for you two, because you're lovers. I like you. Give it to them. And one over here. Oh, very good catching. But this is my baby. This is very rare. It's a little albino for my new friend down here. So today we are going to there are announcements to be made. You have to listen out because I have been told by the first ones there are going to be announcements, there are going to be games you can play. So you have to listen, and Einhar has been told to say this. I do not know what it means, but this is what I've been told. Einhar was also told to prepare a long talk. Yes. This is better, I think, you know. A long talk is boring. Einhar is only used to talking to beasts in the menagerie, and they do not listen good. So, a little poetry. Thank you. What is your name? Thank you, Russell, for putting me on the spot. I love to hunt. I love to smile. But most of all, I love you, exile. But more than that, I love to hunt. Now, I'm going to make a special announcement now. Do not do what the rower do, okay? Do not do your toilet all over the floor and all over the table. All right? There is defecation houses just through into the foyer. Please use that. The other thing, of course, is if there is a fire, please make your way to the nearest safe exit. You will look around, you'll find your nearest exit. Make your way very carefully, very quietly. And if you do want to light a fire, be quiet about it. Now, I think this is all I have to say. So, without any further ado, I'm going to introduce you now to 3 of my best friends. They are more beautiful and they smell better than the beasts in the menagerie, except on patch days. They are the reason Einhar exists. We wouldn't be here without them. Please put your claws together for the 3 founding fathers of Grinding Gear Games, Path of Exile. Please welcome Chris, Jonathan, and Eric!
All right. Hello.
Love you too. Hi everyone, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games. And welcome to EXILECON. This is Eric, our creative director, and of course, he's responsible for all of the scary shit that you've seen and are gonna see. And this is Jonathan, our technical director. How are you feeling?
Everyone. It's pretty scary up here, honestly. You know, like there's
Yeah.
a ton of people in the audience, ton of people online. It's
Yeah, there's 6 digits watching on Twitch,
Yep.
plus everywhere else, and there's
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of people out there. Well, it's honestly really amazing that all you guys could join us here in New Zealand. We understand it's really far away from everywhere else in the world. I think like a 12-hour flight to anywhere except for Australia. Hopefully more than a few of you are doing really fun activities in New Zealand, like visiting Hobbiton. That's really good, worth checking out. So we've been preparing the content you're going to see this weekend for a really long time, many years. And after so many years of planning, it's amazing to finally be here on stage to present it. Thank you so much for coming to see it in person, and thanks to everyone who tuned in from home to watch the live stream. So when we released Path of Exile 1.0 back in 2013, we had around 20 developers at Grinding Gear Games. They fit in one room. That version of the game only went up to Act 3. It was primitive by today's standards, and was the first version of Path of Exile that we were proud enough to call fully released. We knew that to keep the game from getting stale, we had to do something really big every couple of years, in addition to the regular free content expansions. So by 2015, our studio had around 45 developers, moved into its current office, and this allowed us to create an entirely new act of content for version 2.0, extending the length of Path of Exile's storyline by a third. While 2.0 was a big expansion, we knew the jump to hit 3.0 had to be a lot bigger. So we expanded the studio to 90 developers, and were able to add 6 new acts of content in 2017. That was honestly one of the best moments of my life. After keeping the secret that we were adding 6 new acts, there weren't any leaks, we released a trailer that kept revealing new acts in sequence, and the reactions from the community were amazing. It just made all the hard work worthwhile. So since then, we've been asking ourselves the question, how are we possibly going to top that? Well, over the last 2 years, we've expanded up to 145 developers, and we're really proud to finally reveal Path of Exile 4.0.
The gods are dead, but left on their own, men will always seek to take their place.
Criminals! Your sentence is to be hanged from the neck until dead. Let your souls feed the first ones, and your bodies feed the land.
The only result is pain and death.
The demon is escaping! Kill her!
Get her. Only 20 years since Kitava fell, and already corruption spreads like a plague through these shattered lands. Wretched malevolence lurks in the shadows. It is our calling to put it to an end. It must be done if Rayclass is to survive.
Well, that feels amazing. Thank you. Path of Exile 2 is a storyline set 20 years after the defeat of Kitava. When we finished developing 3.0, we knew that we couldn't extend Path of Exile's campaign forever. Adding more acts would make the game just too long before players got to maps. At the same time, we knew we really needed to bring the quality of Path of Exile's campaign up to a 2019 standard. We realized that we needed to make a new campaign. For years now, we've been wanting to make a sequel to Path of Exile, The problem with that, though, is that sequels split a community between two products. It's also hard for a sequel to compete with the amount of content and features that the original game has. We've just spent 6 years making expansions for Path of Exile, so imagine if we released a Path of Exile 2 and it was just a bare campaign with none of that extra content. This would be a sad shell of an action RPG compared to the current state of Path of Exile. It'd have none of the years of expansion content and improvements that make the game great. So we're creating Path of Exile 2 as a new campaign alongside Path of Exile 1 with a shared endgame. The original campaign is still fully playable, and because it's the same game, it'll still continue to be maintained with all of the updates and game system improvements that we'll make to Path of Exile. When we add new skills to the game, you'll be able to play with them in either the Path of Exile 1 or Path of Exile 2 campaign, and all of the microtransactions and stash tabs that you've purchased in the past will be fully usable regardless of which campaign that you're playing. Most importantly, all of your favorite Path of Exile expansion content like Delve, Breach, Incursion, and Legion will be fully integrated. At the same time, we wanted the freedom to make all of the changes that a true sequel requires, like changing the skill system, all of the ascendancy classes, improving the engine, and a lot of other things that we aren't announcing this weekend. Path of Exile 2 addresses all of the things that we feel are deficiencies in Path of Exile 1. We're not abandoning the Path of Exile 1 campaign, though. Not only is it still fully supported in Path of Exile 4.0, we're doing a lot of work to get it up to a 2019 standard. Here's what Act 1 Town looks like in 3.9, which we're releasing in 4 weeks. We're also going through the campaign and we're improving materials to work with our new physically based rendering pipeline. Over the next year, you're going to see a lot of improvements to the Path of Exile 1 campaign, which will be deployed ahead of 4.0 with a 3.9 series of patches. We're also re-rigging all the old character classes to work with the new 4.0 animations, so you'll get all of the ongoing animation improvements in the old Path of Exile 1 campaign as well. In the next year, we're going to continue to deliver 4 amazing leagues on a regular 3-month cycle. All of this content is designed with the Path of Exile 2 campaign in mind, and we'll continue to fold it into the game as needed, like we would with any other league. We don't have a firm release date for Path of Exile 2 yet, and are absolutely going to wait until it's ready before releasing it. We're planning on waiting at least another year with 3.9 expansions before the beta of 4.0, though. So, I'm sure you're wanting to see some 4.0 gameplay. We've prepared a live demo for you. Everything ready, Jonathan?
Everything's ready.
All right, let's go. So, today Jonathan's going to do a short live demo of some of the content we have in this build of Path of Exile 2. This is played right live, like he's literally playing right there. We're starting here at about level 11, which is about halfway through Act 1, and because we want everyone seeing the playable demo of on the show floor to be able to experience the start of Act 1 without having any of the surprises spoiled for you. So right away, as Jonathan plays through the graveyard, you'll notice the massive improvements we've made to the Path of Exile engine since 3.0 was released. Environments, characters, and items all use physically based rendering, which gives the whole game a realistic look. We have new main character class models with all new animations and completely new item base types. Most of these have physics for many of the little details, which look a lot more awesome than before. We've put a lot of work into updating skill effects. For example, when you fire a split arrow, you'll really feel the individual arrows because they can stick in objects and they can bounce off others realistically. Oh, this looks so good. Slight spoiler, but that support gem he's using turns any skill into a barrage. Any bow skill. So, the 4.0 campaign contains a variety of optional side quests that lead to meaningful boss encounters. Relatively soon now, Jonathan's going to encounter an NPC called Lachlan, who has lost his family and needs help.
My family, where are they? Isabel and the boys were only to be gone for a few minutes. But it has been, I don't even know how long. Hours at least. Days, weeks. What season is it? Stranger, I know we have just met, but I'm so worried about them. Around here, they could have fallen into a sinkhole or been choked by grave dust. Please, could you see to their
The game has changed a lot more than just visually, though. One of the things we've really wanted to do for a long time is to make fundamental changes to Path of Exile's skill system. The skill system in PoE is really cool and versatile. Personally, it's one of my favorite things about the game, but there have always been some awkward things about it. We really wanted to find a way to address all of the shortcomings while not sacrificing even a single bit of the functionality that we already have. So you can see in the inventory here, there's something missing. All of the sockets on the items. This is because in Path of Exile 2, you no longer put gems into your items. Instead, the skill gems themselves have sockets, as you can see here, and there is a dedicated screen for socketing them. Jonathan's going to change his split arrow skill for Ice Shot and add some support gems to it. There are some really big advantages here. For one, every single skill gem in Path of Exile 2 can be a 6th link. This is going to cause huge changes in how players design character builds. In the past, players didn't want to have more than one primary attack skill because you could only have 1 or 2 6 links on your character. Now it's totally viable to have a lot of powerful primary attack skills with full support gems. The thing I'm really happy about, though, is you don't have to screw around with your gems all the time when you're leveling. Check out this bow here. The socket colors are the same between the 2 bows. They're both 4 green sockets, like every other bow in the game. And this means that when you find a new item, you just slap it on. You don't have to think about getting fusings and jewelers out because you do that on the gems themselves. As we swap between the bows as well, and for clarity, this means that in-game, when you're trying to roll your perfect item, you can focus on the mods and separately on the sockets and the skills. So you'll see here as Jonathan swaps the bows, the DPS values for all your skills update at a glance, and that's because we've completely changed how the character screen works and so on. Jonathan will go into more detail later today about that. So it's still possible to fine-tune socket colors on items if you need to, but because everything that drops has fixed sockets, it's way easier to just pick something up and put it on while you're leveling. For new players, another really great advantage is it's now impossible to socket a support gem into a skill gem it doesn't work with. For example, multiple projectiles here just can't go into Leap Slam, but as you can see, it works on the other bow skills. So you might be wondering about skills like auras. A lot of the time in the old skill system, you would throw a few gems together in a 4-link with few or no support gems. How can you do that when you have such a limited number of active skill slots now? The answer is meta gems. Meta gems are like super support gems that let you put multiple actives into them. For example, we want to run a few different auras on this character, so we put the proficiency gem into the character and load it up full of auras. It even gives you a single keybind you can use to cast all of the auras with 1 click. Come on. Trigger gems like Cast on Crit are also meta gems, so this means you can put an entire Cast on Crit setup in 1 gem as one of your 8 6 links you can now have. There is a huge amount more to talk about with what meta gems allow you to do with Path of Exile's skill system, and Jonathan will be going into all of it in the PoE 2 gameplay deep dive later today. He'll cover how all the existing Path of Exile things work in Path of Exile 2, as well as introducing a whole lot of new stuff. That is a talk not to miss. Oh, and I should add, the supports you're seeing here for the bow skills, they're 3.9 content, so you'll get to see that much, much sooner. And that's something I want to emphasize. While Path of Exile 4.0, Path of Exile 2, as we're now calling the campaign, is still quite far away, we are getting as much of the content in as early as we can, apart from the campaign itself. So you'll get to play most of the new stuff we're doing quite a lot earlier. It's the campaign and the skill system that are being rolled out on launch day. So one of the things we really wanted to improve on Path of Exile 2 was our lighting system. The new PBR rendering, in addition to a much more realistic light fall-off, makes this area look significantly better than we could possibly achieve in the past. So you can see here there are some monsters called courtesans who can explode the blood cretins. When blood cretins are covered in blood, they get a lot stronger, so you have to be careful. We've tried very hard to design very interesting monster fights, starting as early as Act 1 of the new campaign.
This area generated much longer than it usually did in every other demo we did.
Yeah, but that's actually a feature that we're proud of. We have put a lot of work into make sure there's even more randomization on our random areas. I know racers will hate to hear that because they can't memorize the layouts, but we want it to be very, very hard to find your way around. And there's a talk that Reese is doing later, I think it's tomorrow morning, where we're talking about topics like world generation and stuff like that, rather than just level generation. You'll see what he has to say, but it's pretty interesting.
Had to happen on the stage demo.
We have to give you an authentic Path of Exile experience involving some backtracking.
I've got a Quicksilver, so we're all right.
I mean,
Here we go.
oh, this run-through is going a lot better than some of the rehearsals we did. It turns out some of the monsters hit pretty hard if you're not good at it, so... What's that, sorry? Yeah, you gotta level your gems up, Jonathan.
Oh, it's terrible.
So this is EXILECON plays PoE. Okay, should he go left or right? Awesome.
Please make them stop. They're whispering. They're screaming. No, don't give in. You're not dead. You're still moving. You're still here.
So one of the things that's really exciting about creating an entirely new campaign is that we get to apply all of our boss creation skills to early bosses as well. The first few acts of the original Path of Exile have bosses that are some of the earliest content we ever made, and their age is really showing. For comparison, this fight here is at the same level as Fairgraves in the original campaign, but as you can see, it's a lot more advanced with a lot more going on.
Learn to let go of your burdens.
A new level up animation. So here we are in Einhar's favorite place, the hunting grounds. Now, we're ready to show you something that players have been requesting for a really long time. You've seen it, in Path of Exile 2, we finally have shapeshifting. So, each shapeshift form can use any regular Path of Exile 2 attack. That makes sense. Here on the werewolf, for example, we're using leap, slam, and cleave. And one of the things that we thought was really important with shapeshifting is that you can change back and forth at literally any time, mid-animation, walking around in the middle of a skill, whatever, just hit the button and change forms. So one of the things that we're really proud of is a new grass technology we have. It's done using pre-computed ray tracing and is way nicer looking and has much better performance than what we used before. Got some friends there? So that right there is a small slice of Path of Exile 2.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. So almost the entirety of Act 1 of Path of Exile 2 is complete and playable today on the show floor. It's not just those areas, it starts right on the riverbanks at the beginning like you saw in the trailer, play all the way through, that's somewhere in the middle. If you can make it in the 45-minute timer, just keep playing, see if you can get to the Act boss that isn't done yet, we'll see. Please check it out and let us know what you think. You can play it on the bottom floor of the convention or on the top floor on one of the 120 Omen gaming PCs generously provided by HP. It's a logo. So, as I said, the demo on the show floor is played right from the start of Act 1. It has quite a lot of different content than what you just watched. If you're watching from home, the best way to see this demo, because you can't play it unfortunately, is to watch one of the streamers who's going to be playing the demo throughout the weekend. The first of these is at noon in New Zealand time in 90 minutes when Kriparian plays while chatting with Jonathan. So, some systems in Path of Exile 2 are not ready to announce yet, and so they're not present in today's demo. The first thing a lot of you are doing is hitting P to see the passive skill screen. Surprise, it's just the same as the In Development 3.9.0 for now. That's because we'll work out what we're doing at the passive skill screen, blow your socks off with that, and then announce that at some stage before release. So in around 3.5 hours at 2 p.m., Jonathan's going to present a deep dive into some of Path of Exile's 2 new game mechanics. A closer look at the new skill system, metagems, 19 new ascendancy classes, and more. So you definitely need to be here at 2 p.m. to watch that, but conveniently, it's after my 1 p.m. deep dive about 3.9.0, which is equally good, so just, you're here for the afternoon, basically, and if you're watching from home, I'm sorry if you live in Europe right now. So, we've just announced how we're making huge changes to Path of Exile's campaign in 4.0. How about the endgame? Well, it's been 2 years since we launched War for the Atlas, which was our last substantial endgame-focused expansion, so we feel it's high time for some big changes. What we'd like to show you now is what's coming in Path of Exile 3.9, which will be released in 1 month.
Listen carefully, for this is important. I worked with a group of exiles once, much like yourselves. Together, we faced a terrible evil that plagued the Atlas and threatened our world. Through great perseverance, we were able to defeat the Elder. But it wasn't enough. They kept going back. Over and over, again and again. There was something inside them that could never be satisfied. They sought more power, more prestige. They sought to rule and conquer those strange lands. Each time they returned, I feared more and more what they were becoming. So I did what I thought was right. I sealed them in the Atlas. Forever. They found a way back.
Path of Exile, Conquerors of the Atlas is an expansion with a new endgame Atlas storyline set after the defeat of the Elder. The exiles who defeated him have become a danger to Rayclast, so Zana has attempted to trap them in the Atlas. I guess there's only so much grinding you can do before you go insane, eh? From what we can see, Havoc and Steelmage are both pretty close to that point right now. So when you first open the Atlas in 3.9, it's going to look significantly different. First of all, you notice you now start in the center of the Atlas. But the much larger change is there are only 91 maps to start with. In order to unlock the rest, you're going to need to find and defeat the Conquerors to take back watchstones and socket them into the Atlas. Socketing one of these watchstones into a region of the Atlas will both level up the tier of maps and reveal new maps. You can socket up to 4 watchstones into each region, revealing all the maps, and eventually raising the level of the entire Atlas so that every map is between tier 14 and 16 if you want. Because you can socket and unsocket these watchstones whenever you like, you can completely customize which maps you're finding on the fly as your strategy changes. Yep, it's amazing. You're going to fight 4 of the Conquerors many times as you play through the new Atlas. These are challenging fights, so it's only fitting that they have some special rewards. If you're lucky, a Conqueror might drop a new type of support gem that we're calling a Support Gem Plus. These new gems are better versions of existing supports, which at level 1 are more powerful than the level 20 versions of the ones they replace. So this has an additional fork compared to the normal one, for example. Okay, there's plenty more stuff to discuss about Conquerors of the Atlas. For example, how do you get these cool new currency items? We'll go into more detail about this, along with the Support Gem Plus system, the final boss fight, what's replacing Shaper and Elder Rares, new skill and support gems introduced in 3.9, and more in the deep dive presentation later today. Like every other Path of Exile expansion, Conquerors of the Atlas also contains a new challenge league, and we have a trailer of that league to show you.
Take a clean knife and cut a sample of flesh. Repeat 4 times. Mix the 5 samples in an equiphometic solution. Heat. Stand back. The intrinsic darkness will make itself known. Observe its anger, its aggression. Observe its changing form. It's never comfortable to stay in one shape for long. It will try to kill you. Best not let it. Plunge the clean knife repeatedly. Try more heat. More! Perfect. Only every living creature to go.
In the Metamorph Challenge League, you will find and collect samples from some of the monsters you kill. Tane Octavius will let you combine multiple samples of monsters together to create a shape-shifting Metamorph whose skills are derived from the monsters you combined. Defeating the Metamorph will yield many rewards, including new currency items called catalysts that let you add various types of special quality modifiers to your jewelry. These quality modifiers both improve specific types of mods on your jewelry and also make it easier to craft associated mods. At the end game, multiple map bosses can be combined to create a single, highly dangerous but rewarding Metamorph. I'll be doing a deep dive into both the Conquerors of the Atlas expansion and the Metamorph League that comes with it at 1 o'clock today in just over 2 hours. We'll of course be live streaming this. So, for a year we've had a few developers working on a bit of an experimental skunkworks project at the studio. Let's watch a video about it.
So mobile games are kind of bullshit, right? You know, pay-to-win microtransactions, time gates, energy bars, random nag screens, notifications, video ads. You know, you get the idea. There's really a lot of evil garbage going on in mobile games today. But in 2012, when you first released Path of Exile on PC, you really could have said the same thing about a lot of free-to-play games there too.
So this is what it looks like. There are 8 skill binds, 5 flasks, the same gear you'd expect to see on any Path of Exile game. One of the major benefits of this project was the tech we've developed. It's allowing us to improve our tools and engine and system across the board for all platforms. Our goal is to bring Path of Exile to mobile with absolutely zero compromise.
We wanted to make something that is a real Path of Exile game. We didn't just farm it out to an external studio, it's developed entirely by a team here in New Zealand. The only thing that's fundamentally different between phone games and PC games is that you expect to play for shorter game sessions on the phone. Maps are a perfect length to have the quick turnaround time required for mobile gameplay, while retaining all of the deep systems that Path of Exile players expect.
Back then, we really felt like we could do free-to-play on PC without all that player-hostile stuff. So we thought, maybe we can do the same thing on mobile. Maybe we can make a game that bucks all those bullshit trends and make it something that's a good game first, that just so happens to be played on a phone.
So needless to say, around a year ago, it became real difficult to announce that. But we figured if we make a sequel and give you that first. So, look, the mobile project is really experimental. We haven't really fully decided where we want to go with it yet, but we welcome feedback, and our plan is basically have it at the show floor. It's upstairs in the chill-out zone, which is secretly a mobile zone all along, and it's marked as a chill-out zone on the map to fool you. And play the game, let us know what you think. And on a personal note, this isn't scripted, this part. So on a personal note, I was apprehensive about this project, right? Like, I was unsure we'd be able to do it, but playing the build this week, it's good. It runs fast, it plays well, give it a shot. Let the actual demo do the talking. We're going to get Ziggy to play it with Trevor, the mobile fall guy, later in one of the stream sessions. So we'll see his actual legitimate reactions. And let's make it a good product together, because we all want to be able to have something fun to do on phones when we're on the bus and stuff. So give us your feedback. We'll make this what you need it to be. All right. So, one of the great things about porting Path of Exile to iPhone, and of course Android, is that we can easily create a version that runs on macOS. So next year we'll be releasing Path of Exile on macOS alongside 3.10, 3.11. Now, this is going to be the same version as the PC version. It plays on the same servers. It's the same game, not segregated. It's just that you play it on your Mac, so you can play it at work. So, I'm also pleased to announce Path of Exile's third collaboration with Twitch Prime. Just before the release of Conquerors of the Atlas next month, we'll be launching a 3-month promotion where Twitch Prime members receive a free set of microtransactions every month. You can receive a free 1-month trial of Twitch Prime, of course, to try it out and receive free microtransactions in Path of Exile and other participating games. So, you may have looked in your swag bag and found a box with some cards in it. At EXILECON, we really wanted players to interact with our staff, so we came up with a game that has a few social elements. Think of it as a card game action RPG that you can only play at EXILECON. So all of the GGG staff members will be walking around EXILECON as monsters. On their t-shirts, you can see their stats, and in the deck boxes, you'll have weapons and armor you can use to defeat the monsters. So when you kill them, and please don't actually kill them, you'll be rewarded with more cards as drops. Your character can have equipped 1 armor, 1 weapon, and a shield, or a 2-hand weapon, just like the game, as well as an amulet and 2 rings. The damage on your weapon has to be equal to or larger than the defense on the monster, and the defense on the armor and shield has to be equal to or larger than the attack on the monster. Your rings and amulets can count as either attack or defense, and they're pretty rare to find. This is explained on the rules, and of course ask any staff members if you need help. To attack a monster, just walk up to a staff member wearing a shirt and show them the equipment you want to use. They'll give you the reward and remove some of the durability from your items, so make sure you don't waste your best items on the trash mobs on the lower level. Now, I should note, the staff have been told what rules to individually use for durability damage, so if they totally wreck one of your best items, that's because their instructions say that that monster wrecks your best items. So it's not their fault, don't get angry at them. So, what's next? Right, you're not allowed to attack the same monster twice in a row, so keep walking around to encounter different staff members. Once you've defeated Katava, then you can start grinding maps. Zana, played by her actual voice actress, is over by the map device on the middle floor where you can buy some maps. Make sure you visit the crafting bench on the top floor if you want to use your currency items. If you can get far enough in maps to kill the Guardians, you'll be able to collect fragments required to challenge the Shaper. Of course, that's me. While I'm going to be super busy during the convention, I'll make time to talk to anyone at the Twitch after party who can bring a set of fragments to challenge me. There's one other thing I wanted to mention. Thanks, I know who you are. I know the account name. There's one other thing I wanted to mention while I'm here. We're hiring. So if you want to work for Grinding Geek Games and feel you have the game development experience and skills to make an impact on Path of Exile, please email us at hr@grindinggear.com with a cover letter, resume, and if applicable, code samples or an art portfolio. And the poor person that checks that email address just got a bad surprise. Okay, guys, so it's time to go and explore EXILECON. In addition to the card game, there's heaps of other things to do. You should definitely play the gameplay demo of Act 1 of the Path of Exile 2 campaign. Upstairs, you'll find a chill-out zone where you can try the experimental mobile project. Online at pathofexile.com/exilecon is your schedule that shows what talks are happening where and what time your favorite streamers or developers will be hosting meet and greet sessions or appearing on the streamer stage to answer questions and play Path of Exile 2. Tomorrow, Riker will interview my personal heroes, David Brevik and Max and Eric Schaefer, founders of Blizzard North and creators of Diablo 1 and 2. That's going to be a session you can't miss. You'll probably also want to watch the racing finale tomorrow to see who is going to be crowned the EXILECON 2019 race champion, winning $10,000. Finally, don't forget to check out the 390 and 400 deep dives in 2 hours here in the main theater for heaps more information about the new expansions. After all of that, we'll see you at the Twitch after party tomorrow night to relax after a long and very busy weekend. Thank you so much for attending and have a great show.
Thank you so much. Oh.
You're not mic'd.
I know I'm not mic'd.
There we go.
No, there we go. Thank you so much, guys. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It is so good to have you guys here.
Yeah. That was great. Awesome. All right.
It feels like we worked towards this for 13 years now. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, see you around EXILECon. I'm the elder, by the way.
Yep.
I'm gonna
See you guys later.